Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me? We're all good? We're getting started? I decided to stream this one because it's more fun. Alright, that's the thumbnail. Let me double check we're firing on all cylinders. Alright, boys. Welcome to the live stream. We're gonna have donations and notifications turned off while we review the patch. But let's just get into it. Alright, so this is the Civilization 6 April 2020 game update, the final update of the season. Now, my personal belief is that we will see at least one more update to Civ 6. Alright, let's have a look. We're excited to note the April 2021 game update is now available to all Civilization 6 players. I think we've already reviewed this and watched this. Okay, that feels a little loud. Yeah, I think we've reviewed this and talked about it. In this final free update this evening comes with new units, new maps, and several balance adjustments and gameplay fixes based on player feedback. Read on for the full list of what's available in today's free game update. Now, important things to note. This is free for everyone, no matter which version of the game you own. If you only own the base game, if you only own the base game plus some DLC, or if you own all the expansions, most of what applies here will be given to you. Obviously, changes to DLC civs are restricted to those DLCs, but the vast majority of the generic changes and the balance changes will be going to all players. So, new features. We have some new units. The Trebuchet. Now, for some reason, my Civ game has not updated yet. So I was planning on going in-game and showing you guys this, but my Civ game hasn't updated. So we're not going to be able to do that. Don't know why. But we have the patch notes. So the Trebuchet is a medieval-era catapult upgrade with the Siege promotion class that upgrades into the Bombard. Cannot move and attack on the same turn unless they've earned the Expert Crew promotion. I wonder if they have made a change to Trebuchet. Listen, I'm going to call it Trebuchet now. That's it. It's Trebuchet. That's it. Trebuchet. It's Trebuchet. Did you know there's another Humankind open dev? After this stream, I'm going to record some Humankind memes. So yes, I know that it's out now. Restarting Steam usually helps. Sorry, hang on. I'll do that later. Listen, we'll go through. So the Trebuchet, doesn't the update come out tomorrow? Well, the patch notes are here today, so I assume the update is now. So the Trebuchet is really, really cool because the Catapult was pretty weak. Although the Catapult has received some changes. Now the Trebuchet, is a midway point between the Catapult and the Bombard. Which is really, really cool because the Catapult is in a really awkward place where it's the only siege engine available early game, but it's too weak to be used. Now, I am curious if, with this cannot move and attack thing, if this means the Great General thing where you could move a thing and then shoot if it had enough movement. Hang on, let me see if I can restart Steam. I don't want to reveal my Steam password. So I'm going to exit Steam and then restart Steam. Verifying installation. Alright, Steam, come on. This could be 2 seconds here while I get Steam going again. Connecting to Steam account. Civilization 6. Still hasn't updated. So that did not work. So we're not going to be able to look at this in-game, which is fine. But we're back now. You can see what's happening. So this is really, really cool. This is a big, big deal because it means that siege units are more usable in the early game. It means that certain unique units like the Khmer Domri have a more interesting timing and stuff like that, and maybe you can upgrade into the Domri from catapults. Downloading the update right now. I don't think mine has not updated, unfortunately. So I'm really excited what this means, because one thing that a lot of people didn't know is that the stables in the encampment actually gave you an experience buff for catapults and siege units, so which will now be in the tooltip, because that's one of the changes they've made later on. This opens up the possibility to build a couple of catapults, upgrade into the Trebuchet, and do a Trebuchet timing attack, which comes way earlier than the Bombard, because typically players had to wait till Bombards to have a viable siege unit. Now with the Trebuchet and the slight buffs to catapults, I think we're going to see a lot more use of catapults and the Trebuchet early game, in particular on deity versus AI. I think in multiplayer, catapults had a place. You have Among Us? Yeah, of course. Everyone has Among Us. Then we've got the Man-at-Arms, and this is another unit that I'm a big fan of. It upgrades into the Musketman, and it upgrades from the Swordsman. Unique units that will upgrade into this unit: the Roman Legion, the Congolese Nagao and Beba, the Macedon High Pacifist, the Persian Immortal, the Maori Toa, and the Gallic Gezete. Unique units now replacing this unit: the Norwegian Berserker, the Japanese Samurai, and the Georgian Kevser. Okay, so this line right here is easily the biggest buff to all three of these civilizations in the entire game, because previously the units were available at military tactics, which is an incredibly awkward technology to get to, and you couldn't upgrade units into them. You couldn't build a swordsman and upgrade it into a berserker, which to a player felt really unintuitive. It felt like that's what should happen, and now that we have a midway point unit, that is now possible, which means these units are now massively more viable, because it's much easier to get them. It's much easier to get them and use them, which is fantastic. I'm a huge fan of this change, and I'm really, really excited to play around with these units, because now these units are now viable, as far as I'm concerned. Unique units that will upgrade into this unit. Now, the one downside is all of these units get they get their strategic window of operation reduced and weakened. However, they do get compensated with a little bit of extra combat strength later on. But all of these units will sort of become obsolete sooner, which means the window you have to use them is smaller. And the reverse is true for these. These are now much easier to get, and their window of usability is still quite similar, because previously their window of usability was 0, because it was impossible to use these units. Now you might actually get some use out of these units, so that's really, really exciting. I think these two changes are really, really positive for the game. Line infantry, I think this is not super important for balance, because around about the time that line infantry come into the fore, also, by the way, the Man-at-Arms change is massive, because previously the best melee unit you had to fight crossbowmen was swordsman, and if those swordsmen didn't have both Tortoise and the other promotion that I'm forgetting for the plus 17 combat strength against ranged and melee units, and 7 against ranged and melee and 10 on the defense from ranged attacks, they would basically just melt to crossbowmen. Now the medieval era swordsman, the Man-at-Arms, it is actually, it's going to be a unit that can potentially tank and fight crossbowmen in the open field. So crossbowmen have actually been nerfed significantly here, which I think is a good thing. Crossbowmen are way too strong. You can pretty much get to crossbowmen and then be safe until nearly the industrial era. Like, it's crazy how good crossbowmen are. They, especially if you have a crossbowman parked in a district and you get the plus 10. I think you can get plus 10, plus 5, and plus 5, or it's you can almost get plus 22 combat strength on a crossbowman ranged attack standing in a district, which is insane, right? That unit's doing like 60 damage against units that have 30, right? So this is a huge nerf, huge buff for the melee line and a huge nerf for the range line. This sort of is the logical consequence of these changes. The line infantry, I think this is more of a thematic change. I don't think it's going to affect the balance too much, like I said. It is nice for things like the Spanish Conquistador and the Ottoman Janissary. Or sorry, for the French Imperial Guard and the English Redcoat, because these units now will be upgraded be able to be upgraded into, and they also have an actual place on the tech tree. It is also a nice midway point between musketmen and infantry, and I do feel like having a regular unit that you can go to like infantry throughout every era that doesn't take too many strategic resources is good to have. Honestly, I think infantry should just cost less strategic resources because they're way less useful than other units, so they should probably be just slightly cheaper in terms of memes anyway. Like, they should probably have a slight production discount, they should probably have a slight strategic resource discount, but that would be ideal. Has my game updated? This is the question. Hang on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Civ and I'm going to tell it to verify integrity of game files, and hopefully that'll get it to update. By the way, fun fact for people, if you didn't know, I have, it used to show how many games I had, but I have somewhere in the region of like 700 games on Steam. That's the list. Good luck. If you spot any that you like, good for you. I also think that this will end up nerfing anti-cavalry units because there's going to be more variety of infantry that are strong against them. I think anti-cavalry units are going to be weaker as a consequence of these changes, because there's going to be more viable options for you to sort of have units that are strong against anti-cavalry. Now, anti-cavalry do get buffed, if I remember correctly, later. We have the Mediterranean large map. A map of the larger Mediterranean region with resources, terrain, and features reflecting their historic locations. Imagine if Steam goes out of business, 700 games down the drain. I mean, realistically, Steam going down the drain, like the most reasonable thing, the most realistic thing that would happen to Steam is that they would go bankrupt and then someone would buy them. Like, Steam is way too valuable a property to go bankrupt and have all those games just disappear. Someone would buy them and then become the distributor of those. There'll probably be some changes and stuff like that, but this is really cool. I'm excited to play on the Mediterranean large map. We have the Earth huge map, which is, I think there's a TSL version for both of these. These are going to be fun playthroughs. I plan to do a playthrough on both of these, as well as a couple of playthroughs on each of these maps. A large-sized Earth with resources, terrain, and features reflecting those historic locations. Very exciting, cool new maps. I always like new maps. Maps are one of the easier things for people to mod in, but I do like having options from the developers themselves, which, it's just more accessible for more people, especially people who, for example, don't play on PC and might have a harder time accessing mods. New game updates. Balance/polish. All right. Or Polish. Did my game update? No, it's validating still. God damn it. Okay. Aztec. The Tlachli, I don't know how to say this. Base game added +1 culture. Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm added +2 culture. This building is relatively weak, but it has been buffed a lot, and the Aztec now have basically the best arena in the game. I believe it gives faith and culture now for the Aztec, which is really nice. I wish I could go in game and actually look at these bonuses. So I'm really hoping that my validation goes well. Australia. Coast is now a tier 2 start bias. This is great. Australia as a civ has really big advantages for being near the water. First of all, I believe they get full housing from coast as if they were on water, or else it's like a bonus to housing if they're on coast. I can't remember exactly how that mechanic works, but I know they get extra housing on coast, so that's a big deal, right? You always want to, that allows them to grow bigger cities. It allows them to take advantage of their bonuses more easily. Maybe he will read it. What? True start location? Yeah, TSL right here. What about it? Hi, quick question. I have a save game online because I can still play the save file online after the update. You will be able to play your save files online after the patch. However, the patch changes will apply. So just keep that in mind. You all have to update your game. Please do a huge TSL Earth map with your European leaders, only by banging your elbow against the desk for memes. There you go. Elbow desk banging. There you go, boys. Canada. So I think in terms of the Aztecs, this is a fairly minor buff. The Aztecs are in what I would consider a good place, and this just makes the weakest part of the Aztecs more viable, which I'm a big fan of. The Tlachli in the original base game was basically, unironically, just bad, and now it actually has a lot of utility, especially because amenities have been buffed in general over the last 3 years of the game. Australia, Australia is pretty strong, so now they're just more likely to start on coast. This is good for Australia because they scale off of appeal. Appeal on coast is usually high, and they also scale off of coast because they get lots of housing from the coast. So this is overall just a nice buff for Australia. We have Canada here. Gathering Storm, the last best west. Increases the yields of mines and lumber mills on snow, tundra, snow hills, and tundra hills. So any snow-like terrain, they get +2 production on mines and lumber mills. This is massive. Canada is now the tundra/snow civ. Okay, this alone, never mind the camps and farm changes, is insane. So previously, when you build a lumber mill, say you have a forest tile on tundra, it's 1 food, 1 production. When you built a lumber mill on it, it was 1 food, 3 production. Now as Canada, it's 1 food, 5 production. That's right. Naked, non-hill forest tiles for Canada in tundra are 1 food, 5 production. That is an insane amount of yields. That is a profit of 4 yields per tile for Canada. Okay, typically, in order to get that kind of a profit on a tile, you need to build a grassland mine and have workshops and industrialization so that your mines get +2 extra production. Because typically a mine on a hill is 2 food, 2 production, and with the 2 buffs, right? So Canada out of the gate, the second they get lumber mills or mines, are just ridiculous, and they still get the buffs from workshops, industrialization. Insane. The civ is now insane. They also get extra 2 food on camps and an extra 2 food on farms in these terrains. Again, super massive. Typically, camps are... Does this make Canada OP now? No. It just makes Canada really damn fun and cool to play. Camps getting +2 food is actually massive. Because camps typically only give you gold in the early game, and they only give you food later or with specific pantheons. Now, camps are actually super viable for Canada in tundra. Mounties did also get a buff, I believe. I don't know why that's not listed here. A little bit. Let me have a look. Control F. Mountie. Yeah, there we go. Light cavalry. So it's down here. We'll talk about that later. Canada. Increase the yields of +2. So normally if you build like a camp on a tile, let's say it is a naked deer tile, which I think is typically 1 food, 1 production. If you built a camp there, normally you would get 1 food, 1 production, 2 gold. Now as Canada, you get 3 food, 1 production, and 2 gold, which is a huge amount of profit from a single tile. This is a massively workable tile. And the same for farms. Typically Canada in tundra, if they build a farm on a tundra tile, it's 2 food, right? Now they get 4 food because you get 1 food from the farm, 1 food from the tile, and then 2 food from this bonus. So Canada is now the tundra civ. They can super survive and thrive in the snow. So this is a huge, massive buff to Canada, and I really do think they're going to be an incredibly fun civ to play in sort of tundra-y games. Next up we have China, which is the dynastic cycle. Now when completing a wonder, receive a random eureka and inspiration from the era of that wonder. So if you build a wonder from the classical era, you will get a random eureka and inspiration from the classical era. If you build a medieval wonder, you'll get eurekas from the medieval era, and so on and so forth. So this actually really encourages China to continue to build wonders throughout each era, and it actually... This is a significant buff for China for 2 reasons. China is already a tourism-oriented civ, in my opinion. And so if they now are incentivized, not only through their baseline abilities that they had previously to build wonders, and they're now getting extra culture and science, this means that building wonders actually has an inbuilt extra bit of science and culture in them. So you're going to want to build them as soon as you can. You're going to want to build as many wonders as you can as soon as you can, and it won't actually even hurt your civilization that much. So I think this is a significant buff to China that is kind of in line with their already existing playstyle. I think the cool thing about this is you can't get eurekas, you can't get random eurekas for something you already have. So if you're missing like a couple of eurekas, build a wonder from that era and boom, you got that eureka. This probably won't be mega significant, except if you're playing like an incredibly slow game in the late game. But this will be really significant in the early game, in particular, say, medieval and before. I think in the late game, the research numbers and stuff like that just get so high if you're playing well that by the time you actually build a wonder from an era, you have already basically researched that entire era. Next up, we have France, the Chateau. I love that this tile has been getting buffed basically every patch, and it's still getting buffed. Okay, so the Chateau is +2 culture and +1 gold at base. +1 culture for each adjacent wonder, increasing to +2 at flight, +2 gold for being on a river, must be adjacent to a bonus or luxury resource, and not adjacent to another Chateau. So the Chateau was arguably one of the weaker tile improvements in the game. I like that they have removed the river requirement of it, but instead have just given it an incentive to be on a river. This is now a much more workable tile. So let's say you built it on a grassland tile. Let's say you build it on a grassland tile next to a river. You'll get 2 culture, and 2 gold and 2 food, which is a pretty respectable amount of non-production yields. I probably wouldn't have more than 1 chateau in my city that I'm actually working per like 5 population, because you still want the majority of your population working production-based tiles and growth tiles, but the occasional chateau thrown in will help you sustain a bigger army and also help you research the culture tree a little bit quicker. The extra culture for being adjacent to a wonder is nice because it gives you a way to squeeze out a little bit of extra tourism, especially because this gives you this can give you quite a decent amount of 2 culture, 3 gold. Sorry, 2 culture, 3 gold. Did I mix that up? Apologies. Yeah, 2 culture and 3 gold if you build it next to a river. I would say, like if I was playing France, I would try to have at least 1 chateau per city. And then when the city hits about 10 population, I would probably go up to like 2 chateau per city. That would be like what I would be playing here. And I would just do my best to try to get them next to wonders. And then once I actually hit something like conservation and flight, I would start looking. I can't remember, does the chateau actually give appeal? Because if the chateau gives appeal, I would probably even up that a bit more to try and get some national parks and stuff. I can't remember off the top of my head. Game, have you updated? Let me have a look. The workshop content updated, but the game itself did not. Rip. Can't remember off the top of my head if this gives appeal, but if it does give appeal, this could have really good combos with things like the preserve. It could give you really good combos with things like national parks, entertainment squares, all that sort of stuff has really, really good combos with France now. So France's culture game, their land-based culture game, is really, really good. Restart Steam. I've already restarted Steam. Hang on. Let's just play the game. See if it chooches. It's going to be really loud. Oh, quick alert. Lower down your volume. The intro is really loud on my computer for some reason. I'm taking off my headphones. Seriously. Lower down your volumes right now. It's going to be bad. Alright, we're through the intro. I don't know why you can't make it quieter. Okay. Create game. Click. Where is... Ah, yes, we have our update. So wait, where's Montezuma? Montezuma, where are you? Awesome. So if I want to look at France now, let's say Eleanor. The Chateau, +2 culture, +1 gold. Alright, let's just load it to a random game. And we can start looking at some of these things inside the wiki. Get the quick start mod. Why is the intro so loud? God knows. So yeah, I want to have a look at the Chateau in the in-game encyclopedia. Georgia. We'll talk about Georgia now in a sec. I just wanted to... Hey, neat. We played Norway. We haven't actually reviewed their changes yet. So, Chateau. So the Chateau does not seem to give appeal. Oh, it does. So the Chateau does give appeal. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. So that's really, really cool. It does actually give appeal. And it has been changed significantly. Really, really cool. Very, very nice. Exciting stuff. Oh, hey. Hang on. 2 seconds. Let me fire up the fire tuner here. And then we can go reveal all. We can reveal the whole map. And now we can actually bring in all the units. So where is the Trebuchet? Trebuchet place unit. Here it is. This is the Trebuchet. So it has 35 melee strength, 45 bombard strength. Isn't that cool? I like the 2 little swordsmen next to it. What's the catapult like? Hang on. Catapult. The catapult is now 25-35. So I think that's actually a significant buff to what it was previously. I think this was like 15-25. Let's grab the men-at-arms. Man-at-arms. The line infantry. Why am I so blind? Does anyone else have trouble like seeing things sometimes? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. J, K, L, line infantry. So these are all the new units. Very cool. There's the man-at-arms. Very strong unit replaced by upgrades from, yes, you can now upgrade swordsman into samurai. It is confirmed. Amazing. So this is the man-at-arms. Very cool. And then we have the line infantry. And just for the sake, let me see. I'm going to make a pike and shot for the barbarians. Let's see. P. Place unit. Pike and shot. Place unit. Pikemen. This is just giving us an idea. So now, if we look at the pike and shot, the line infantry demolishes them, but the man-at-arms kind of just does okay against the pikemen, right? The pikeman is now a pretty viable. You know what I mean? The pikeman can theoretically hold its own against a man-at-arms now, whereas I think even previously, if we get ourselves a swordsman. Swordy boy. Oh god, where is the swordsman? Why am I so blind? Can anyone explain this to me? Swordsman. Norway, place unit. Previously, you know, the swordsman with a single promotion would still do pretty well against the pikeman. I think if they weren't on ideal terrain, like if I moved this unit over 1 tile, it would be a pretty even fight, especially once the swordsman gets a promotion or 2. But yeah, now like the pike and shot, like you have an answer to like pike and shot. If we look at the tech tree, pike and shot come available here. Sorry, pikemen become available here. And pikemen are pretty reasonably good at fighting off like man-at-arms and stuff and swordsmen. So I still think it's a little bit awkward being over here on the military tactics thing, but it's still definitely a an option to go over here. Okay. Georgia. Glory of the Kingdom, War and Faith. Let me exit the main menu so we can look at their bonuses in situ and kind of review all of their bonuses. But the main change here is no longer receives 100 faith for 10 turns after declaring a protectorate war. So this is actually just a nerf. Like, not having this ability is bad. Instead, combat victories provide faith equal to the combat strength of the unit. I think this could be 100% personally. 50% is really weak. Like, if you kill a warrior, you get 10 faith. I feel like you should get the full 20. Like, I think it would be better. Pikeman also got a unit strength buff. Yeah, no, I talked about it before. So let's kind of have a look at Georgia here in situ. Shoot, what's the Tamar? So if we look at Georgia, combat victories provide faith equal to the strength. They get extra. So this is what I would consider now a pretty good religious war civ who can also golden age pretty reliably. I think Georgia's faith economy is going to be really strong in a domination-oriented game. The problem is that Georgia's in this really weird place. Is that like a couple of their bonuses now are like go to war, but a couple of their other bonuses are like do tourism or do religion, and they're kind of pushing in too many directions for them to really be a strong civ, I feel like, because they're not pushing in any one of those directions perfectly. I mean, they're still good. They're still good in a purely defensive tourism religion game, like a religious tourism game, but not... Assuming the other is just to balance out the early Pantheon and instant early settler. I mean, honestly, let them have let them have that instant early settler. Let them have that instant early faith. Plenty of other saves get faith right from the get-go. Russia, Indonesia, Mansa Musa. All these civs, they get tourism right from the get-go. So let Tamar have their faith, you know? So I would say Georgia is now better, but still in like a really weird place. I'd say they're an interesting civ to play. They just don't have a place really in the game. Germany now have rivers as a tier 5 start bias. This is cool for Germany. Germany has some really unique things they can do with their industrial zones. Russia's Lavra has been heavily nerfed, by the way. I don't think that's the Russian Lavra is heavily nerfed. I think it's just nerfed, really. That would be my take. I don't think it's heavily nerfed. So Germany, tier 5 start bias. Pretty cool. Germany was already a pretty good civ. Now having a really high chance to start near a river. Really good, especially because you can do really interesting things with their unique industrial zone, the Hansa, with regards to adjacency from commercial hubs, from... Oh my god, why can't I find Frederick? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, E, F. There. It gets extra production from commercial hubs, aqueducts, and dams and canals. So you can do really, really interesting things with the Hansa now. Especially because you're more reliably going to be starting on a river, and a river will almost certainly let you at least build an aqueduct, right? So German Hansas have at least plus 5 adjacency, because you're going to want to put a commercial hub and an aqueduct next to it, and both of those are districts, so that's at least a +1 from having 2 districts, and then +2 from the commercial hub and aqueduct each. Tier 5 is the lowest tier. Oh shoot, wait, did they lower that? Civ 6 start bias. Yeah, so I think previously Germany had no start bias. So now they have a start bias for rivers. So this is actually a buff for them. Now, I believe the tier, it's still a tier 5, so it's not amazing, but they had no bias at all. So it still is a buff for them. How does the tier bias work? Basically, let's say there's 2 civs, right? Let's say there's Babylon, who has a river bias, and Egypt that have a river bias. Babylon, when a start location is assigned to a person near a river, Babylon will get that slot first because they have a higher bias than Egypt. But if that river bias also contains floodplains, Egypt will take it. So that's kind of it's a way how civs are distributed across the map based on the game identifying starting locations. It'll, as far as I understand it, it basically makes a list of the possible starting locations and then tries to assign them to each, it like assigns them a score based on like what's there, like whether it's coastal, river, rainforest stuff, and then tries to assign different civs to it based on their starting biases. Coast tiles are now a tier 3 start bias, so I think Japan had a... I've gone way too far. Japan had no start bias, so this is actually a nice buff for Japan. Japan is a pretty good coastal civ. Khmer. Okay, so this is one of the big changes. This is one of the big changes here. Khmer. Rise and Fall, Gathering Storm. So these are all for the expansions. If you play in the base game, like let me show you here. You can see here, where is, what's his name again? Jayavarman. If I click on Jayavarman here, you can see here all of his things. But if I go up here and I change to standard rules, all of his abilities change. Okay, so if you have either Rise and Fall or Gathering Storm, you will be able to play with these new changes. Whereas they still have the old Prasat in the base game where missionaries receive the martyr ability. But in Gathering Storm, the Prasat now gives you 6 faith, which is a building unique to Khmer, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that now. Grand Barres. You know what? Let's just... Can I do this? Duel. Go. Get that loaded up while I talk about it. Cities with an aqueduct receive +1 amenity from entertainment and +1 faith for every population. Farms provide +2 food if adjacent to an aqueduct, +1 faith if adjacent to a holy site. Monasteries the king, holy sites are granted major adjacency with rivers, a culture bomb and food equal to its adjacency bonus, +2 housing. Okay, so getting +1 amenity from aqueducts is great because you get extra food from your farms adjacent to aqueducts, which helps you pay for the extra population you're going to have, and then the extra population you have will give you faith, and you can also get a little bit of extra faith from your farms. So this is really, really cool. This is overall just like Khmer, identity stronger, more food. I skipped Inca. Oh shoot, I skipped a bunch of people. Oh sorry. Thermopylae, add a +1 combat strength. We'll come back to Khmer. Blah, blah, blah. Thermopylae, add a +1 combat strength for every military policy slotted. Okay, this is huge for Greece. I think it's Gorgo, although it could be all of them. Typically, you know, if we take a look at some of the early governments, right, we've got, say, for example, oligarchy here. You could have 3 military policy cards plugged in, but as Greece, you can actually plug 4 in, right? You could plug 4 in, which means your hoplites as Greece, once you have oligarchy, could have +8 combat strength. 4 from oligarchy, 4 from having 4 military policy cards. And then, right, you park a couple of hoplites beside each other. Now they've got +10 combat strength. Right, that's insane. In fact, hang on. Let's, before I do the Khmer thing, I want to show off like how good these hoplites are now. It's probably not worth the opportunity cost. It might be. It could be to plug it in for a couple of turns. So let's just TSL. Where's the Mediterranean? True start location Mediterranean. Let's make sure we play Gorgo. And we'll just go. Better just have +6 and 2 econ cards. Possibly park it. But you do have the option now. You have the option. So +6, I think, is a more reasonable situation, but you could go up to +8 if you wanted to.
A man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization.
I'm gonna do a reveal all on the map. Hang on. Map. Reveal all.
To the apples.
Dead Sea, Pamukkale, Mount Vesuvius, Matterhorn, Cliffs of Dover. So this is the map. We've got Rome over here. France over here. Cool. So Germany's here. Poland is here. We've got Hungary. This looks like a fantastic map. That's really, really cool. We've got Turkey. There's Phoenicia. Egypt would be here. I don't think we would have a Mali on this map. Very, very cool. Spain is here. Portugal is here. I like this map. England spawns here. Oh, that's interesting. England on this map would be really interesting. Because you could sneak in, grab Normandy, maybe sneak down and grab Picardy. Or, oh shit, what is this area called? I can't remember what this is called. A volcano. The Alps. My god. I like that there's only a couple of choke points here. Rome. Rome is... I feel like Rome should have some naval bonuses. Am I crazy? I know they were like a massive land empire as well, but I feel like Rome should have a navy bonus. Because, like, look at their land. They have to settle all of these cities coastally on this map. Carthage would be here. No Netherlands. I think the Netherlands would go here because you can see the Brussels. Or is that Belgium? Netherlands would be there. Oh shoot. Yeah, I think Netherlands would be just off map. I feel like there's a lot of desert here. They could have shifted. They could have shifted. They could have shifted the map down like 3 or 4 tiles. I feel like, unless there was very specific things. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Yeah, they kind of wanted to get 4 cities for Egypt on this river, which I guess makes sense why they did it this way. But I feel like there could have been a little bit more. But this kind of makes me feel like I'm playing Rome Total War. This map here, which is kind of neat. Scythia would be all the way here. Scythia would be like starting here, basically like kind of Ukraine now. Scythia is roughly Pontus, Persia, and the Seleucids would go here. Oh yeah. So I wanted to do an example here. So let's just settle our city. And we're going to do some cheating here. Just to do some memes. Okay, great, thank you. So if I open this up and go to player, I go to Greece. I want code of laws, foreign trade, craftsmanship, foreign trade, state workforce,
It is not wisdom.
Early empire, and political philosophy.
Without craft, it is.
Oh, I may as well take military tradition, because that gives me flanking and support combat bonuses. So now, if I go in and change my government, okay, cool.
Politics is bravery.
And we plug in oligarchy, right? Can I not? Is there? I might have to wait a turn. Hang on. I'll just plug in random cards for now. Shift enter. Is the map settling? Are the sketches colored in? No, that's just a mod. That's just a mod I have installed that I forgot to turn off. Don't worry about that. Player, just give me a bit of gold so I can... What do you mean assign all policies? The point randomly, don't care. Okay. Unlock. Appoint oligarchy. So let's just, for the sake of this, we'll just plug in a bunch of military cards. Now we'll come in here. Oh, I have to refresh this map pane. God damn it. Where is the hoplite? H for hoplite. Is it G for Greek hoplite? Greek hoplite. Let's do this experiment over here. And then we'll grab Barbarian. Swordsman. So these Greek hoplites, right? They normally have a combat strength of 28. Alright? But look at this hoplite. If you have oligarchy, 4 military policy cards, and discipline, and you're adjacent to a hoplite, this thing has 53 combat strength. This is a ancient era musketman. Okay? This is an ancient era musketman, dude. Now you take away the barb card that goes down to 48 combat strength, and it's more akin to like an ancient era, knight, or maybe even a Corsair, right? Like 48, 46 combat strength. So these units are now way more viable because a couple of points of military strength actually makes a big difference. Now the problem is, I don't know how to promote units. Is there a way to promote a unit? Have a look. Unit. Greek hoplite. No, I don't think there's a way to make there's no way to buff units. But now let's have a look at the map. Man at Arms. And I'm giving them a little bit of AoE combat. Like, they're like these units, right? Without the discipline card. There's a 10 XP button at the top. Oh! Awesome, awesome. So if we have this double support bonus, these units are going to be ridiculous. Alright. Let's upgrade this one. +5 combat strength versus melee units. This equalizes. This guy can pretty reliably fight with a single promotion. As long as the Swordsman isn't promoted, can hold the line against a man-at-arms. Like, hoplites are so good. And the promotion tree was below the middle. Sorry. Oh. You just have the ball. Like, these units are going to be so amazing for defense. There's going to be like a brief window in early classical where hoplites are incredible on the offense. And then there's going to be a once crossbowmen appear, that's when hoplites will fall off. But honestly, there's a huge amount of time between bronzeworking and crossbowmen. So hoplites now way more viable, I feel. What's the cheat menu? It's a inbuilt developer tool thing. You have to install it. It took me ages. I only learned how to use it there like a month ago. So I think this is actually a pretty significant buff for Greece. Now we've got to talk about the Inca. The Capanan leader ability adds +1 production, 2 mountains when the game reaches the industrial era. Incan terrace farm now gives +1 housing. Mountains are now a tier 2 start bias. So let's have a look at the Incans. Does the +10 bonus double? No, I think it's an if or. By the way, that bonus only gives +4 strength, not +8. It's +4 from oligarchy and then +4 from having the cards plugged in. Will it still be viable versus crossbowmen? When it is fortified, it can tank crossbowmen it can tank 1 crossbowman for 1 turn. Do you know how to place ley lines with a developer tool? No. So let's create game. What is the Incan leader's name? God, I can never remember the Pachacuti. There he is. Continents, TSL, Earth, huge. It'll take a while to load this up, so we'll talk about their abilities. +1 production to mountains when the game reaches the industrial area. This is huge. Mountains, I believe, already gave you +2 production, especially when we have things like the Preserve now. That can seriously buff mountains. Incans are pretty crazy when it comes to working mountains, and the fact that terrace farms next to mountains give you +1 food on mountains, which is super insane. Thermopylae is just Gorgo, just to let you know. Yeah. Then the terrace farm gives you +1 housing, up from 0.5. Massive buff to this civ. Massive buff to this civ. Mountains are now a tier 2 start bias.
For you grow in strength where others.
What I'm going to do is settle here, and then for the sake of demonstration, to show off some of these new yields, I'm going to go to my player, give myself a ton of culture. I'm going to unlock Code of Laws, C Code of Laws, M for Mysticism, and F for Foreign Trade. And then I'll also unlock bronze working. And then I'll go into the city map mode. Let me come in here real quick. Buy some tiles.
Bronze.
Just to give you an idea of how insane the Incas can be now. Probably really loud, I apologize. I'm going to put a preserve here. So look, we can work these mountains, right? And remember, these get +1 when the game reaches industrial era. Let's just, for the sake of argument, let's place down a preserve. So preserve right there. And then in the preserve, we're going to build a grove. G for grove. Did the grove not go through? There. So we put a grove in this city. Now, if I refresh these tiles, look at these mountains, okay? 2 food, 2 production, 2 culture. That's insane. That's insane. Now, if we come over to the map screen again, and we grab ourselves a terrace farm, 7 housing in the city, okay? Place improvement. Terrace farm, right there. Refresh. Look at this terrace farm. 5 food, 2 production. Look at these mountains. 3 food, 2 production, 2 culture. This Civ is insane. The possibilities that you could do with this is crazy. Oh, and there's 2 fate there, by the way. There's 2 fate there that I wasn't... So, and then also, we talk about like the fact that terrace farms also get +1 production if they're adjacent to fresh water and not an aqueduct, and 2 production if they are adjacent to an aqueduct. Crazy. Crazy. The Appeal Pantheon, yep. The possibilities of this Civ is crazy, dude. Why is it a 3 food mountain? It gets +2 food from the grove in the preserve, and then +1 food from the terrace farm. So you can see here is a mountain with just the terrace farm. Here is a mountain with just the grove, and then here are 2 mountains with the grove and the terrace farms. Now, we could go one step further. What's the late game building called again? Sanctuary. So if we go to the city and we plug in a sanctuary here, I know I don't have it unlocked, but I think I can still place it. Wait till you see these tiles, dude. Look at that. Oh, we're going to reveal the map here in a second. I just wanted to talk about the Incas. Look at that, dude. 3 food, 4 production, 2 gold, 2 science, 2 culture, 2 faith. This has literally every yield that you need. Right? This is the power of Incas. And don't forget, that's going to go up to 5 production later on in the game. And you can have multiple preserves. I could have another preserve here, boosting all of these mountains. I could have another preserve here, boosting all of these. Insane. Do you have the +1 production from industrial era? No. Oh yeah, reveal map. So let's reveal. Right, we've got the Torres del Paine, Uluru, Great Barrier Reef, Pantanal, Singi, Galapagos, Mount Kilimanjaro, Halong Bay, Sahara, Sahara Beta. Oh my god, look at this map, dude. Now that is a nice looking map. I like the island chains. I do wish some of these were 2-tile islands. I kind of wish that 1 or 2 of these were 2-tile islands. Like I think this is Hawaii here. I guess it makes sense to just be a single tile, but you know, you can kind of wish. I feel like the Galapagos, I know this is where the Galapagos are really, but come on guys, we can move them 1 tile in so people can actually work them. Europe is a bit disappointing. I mean, Europe is pretty small. That's the thing. Like, if you want an accurate map, you have to make Europe small. Now, we could probably do some projection memes and squish, because this is honestly, Africa is still too small. Africa, right here, it should be like twice as big in reality. This is already a projection map, I feel like. Europe is tiny, I'll admit that, right? Europe is tiny and crammed. It's a bit of a problem. But I think if you were going to fix this, you would have to like distort the rest of the world. Like you'd have to make Africa tiny, and Africa is already way too small. But I think this is a cool map. I don't think I will play much on this map, but at least, oh wow, I like the glaciers in Alaska. Somebody spent a lot of time on that one trying to get that to look just right. Very cool. Oh, wait, this is the ice bridge between Russia and America. Oh, that's so cool. There's Irkutsk. Japan is a little bit disappointing. I think it should be a bit longer. IMO. China feels a little bit small. Korea is huge. India. Oh my, whoa. India is just a nub, dude. I think this is a map projection that squeezes and crushes down the center of the map because everything here feels really, really squished to how it normally is. Australia is a good size. Interesting. Are there canals? Oh, they do have the Suez. Oh, wait, why is there cotton here? No, this needs to be a canal. This needs to be canalable if there's a luxury here. Is Iceland huge? There's Iceland. Greenland is here. A little bit of science available up here. Russia is massive. I think Moscow spawns like, there's the Urals, so Moscow spawns like right here ish, somewhere here, or no, wait, Novgorod is here, Moscow is like here. Yeah. Why does the luxury matter for making the canal? Because if there's a luxury there, you can't place the canal. Now, bonus meme alert. Bonus meme. I heard a rumor. St. Petersburg is the capital, not Moscow. Oh, you're right. Sorry. That's right. It would have been up by the ball sack of Finland. My bad. Bonus meme. Not scenario. No, not resume game. Oh. I clicked the wrong button.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking
you can't
his
build
first
districts on
upright
luxuries.
Steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars. Pachacuti, son of the sun, father to a prosperous people who dwell among...
Only strategics block it? You are 100% wrong. And also...
several... what? If not right...
Well, on a normal map, you tell me that Finland doesn't look a bit like a ball sack, okay? Yeah, so I think Russia spawns... St. Petersburg is here somewhere. My misclick was not the meme. Okay. Create game. Now, you'll notice here that there is a huge continent in between Africa and America in this image. And I heard a rumor that if you play with Secret Societies mode on this map, perhaps there is an Atlantis. I don't know if it's true. We'll find out.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars.
Kublai Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan. You will amass an empire to rival his.
Come on, load
You
faster,
know when
please.
to bend and when to
This is a big
strike
map.
to
My
gain
computer usually
advantage.
loads the game in like
Your
10
will.
seconds. Uh-huh. Reveal all.
Several.
Prepare your ears.
I have if let arrive.
I've been had. I've been lied to. I've been lied. Civ 6 Atlantis. We check the old Civ 6 subreddit. Civ. Is anyone posting about Atlantis? Have I been had? I appointed a secret society. There's gotta be something with Atlantis. I refuse to accept that there's nothing here. Where are my ley lines at? It's probably just a continent. Oceans don't have continents. Whatever. Okay, back to patch notes. What were we on? We just did Inca, Japan. Not much to talk about. Khmer. I do want to load up a game as Khmer here. So we go down to Jayavarmian. Sea level, possibly?
From the first stirrings of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his...
We'll talk about the Khmer bonuses here in a sec. All right, so cities with an aqueduct receive +1 amenity from entertainment and +1 faith from every population. This is massive. You need to be building your aqueducts as Khmer now. That is so much faith. The +1 amenity is nice, but the faith and housing is insane. Farms provide +2 food if they're adjacent to an aqueduct and +1 faith if adjacent to a holy site. The holy site is less important. The really nice thing is the +2 food from being adjacent to an aqueduct. +2 food from being adjacent to an aqueduct means that on a standard grasslands tile, a flat 2 food tile, if you have it next to an aqueduct, it is now a 5 food tile, which means it can support 2.5 population with a single farm. Insane food yields, which obviously scales with the extra +1 faith. Are you going to play a game today? Probably not. We're going to just talk about the patches and stuff and have fun. Need better CPU for loading? I have an insane CPU already. So let's just, for the sake of it, we'll just settle in place. We will come over here to this. We will give myself, I need masonry. Let's just go to city. Place an aqueduct. Actually, I changed my mind. Remove that aqueduct. That's going to be where I put my holy site. Holy site there. Aqueduct there. Let me just go into city. And then remove the commercial hub. Okay, I need to get rid of that forest. Map. How do I get rid of features? Got that. Oh, I can just give myself a builder. Hang on, I need to give myself the mining technology and a unit. I need to refresh the map pain, of course, because it bugs out every time I reload a game. Get rid of you, open up the new map, place unit, builder, here, cancel placing unit, harvest that. I have UI mods installed, don't worry about that. Now if I go in here, I give myself 1,000 gold. I also need irrigation. I for irrigation there. And I need another builder to get rid of this marsh. And then I can place farms. Farm. If I click the city, refresh, look at those farms! My God! Let's give this city shrine. Where's the shrine? Shrine, T for temple. Did that do the right kind of temple? No, it literally just gave me a temple. Hold on. Holy site. S for shrine. P for prasat. Look at this, dude. Look at the faith from this city already. 15 faith. It's on a... my God. That's insane. We're getting 4 food from the holy site. This civ is so cool now. I don't like that I spawned on the desert. But yeah, let's talk about the actual prasad itself. So this got a huge change. It gives you 6 faith, the building unique to Khmer, replaces the temple, required to purchase apostle and inquisitors, 0.5 culture for every population in the city. Once flight is researched, it receives 10 tourism if it's 10 population or higher, and 20 if the city is 10 or higher. So if I come in here and I give my city 1, 2, 3, 4, let's go up to 10 population, and then I give myself flight. Once you have tasted, I'm getting 10 tourism from this holy site. That's crazy. All right, and I'm getting normally from your population you get 0.3 culture per pop, which means with 10 population you would get 3 culture. Because I have the prasat, I'm getting 8 culture from 10 population. That is so good. This civ is so strong when it comes to faith and culture now. Is it religious tourism? I don't have a way to check. I don't know how to check. But yeah, Khmer are insane now. Like this is just crazy. Holy sites give major adjacency, a culture bomb, food equal to its adjacency, and +2 housing if it's on a river. Like it's crazy. This is 4 food, 4 faith, and population, culture per population, as well as the aqueduct giving faith. This is insane. All right, let's get it moving here a bit. Congo, relics, artifacts, and sculptures also give +1 to faith. Remove great riders from additional great people points. This is overall a nerf to Congo. Congo used to be pretty good. I took time to show off some of these civs in depth because it was these particular ones in any way warranted a lot of change. But stuff like shoot, what's the Congo leader's name? I can never, like... Mavemba. So Mavemba is slightly weaker. All right, he's not going to have that awesome, great rider economy anymore. But he still gets strong, great artists and great musicians. Overall, I would say Congo is nerfed. I don't think it's going to kill Congo. I definitely think it's going to weaken them pretty significantly. And the extra faith from Great Works really doesn't help. Movember, like November, So I think Congo is pretty mildly nerfed. Korea, Three Kingdoms mines now receive +1 science for each adjacent Seiwan district. This is a pretty mild buff for Korea. Same thing with farms. Farms now also receive +1 food for each adjacent Seiwan. I think this just means that previously you couldn't do something like, if I just open up paint and use dots, like previously you might have like, you might have like a city center here, and then you would have like a farm, and then a Seiwan here, and then maybe you would have like a mine here, and a mine here, and a mine here, and then like a farm here, say. Previously, if you, say, settled another city and built another Seiwan here, these wouldn't get buffed from both, but now they do, so that's nice. So this is what I would consider a kind of almost a quality of life buff for Korea, which just makes things a little bit easier. Mapuche. Rise and Fall. Turkey. Cities with established governor get 5% culture, 5% production, 10% combat experience towards all units trained in this city. We've already talked about this quite a bit. I think the most significant change here is the Chemable getting +1 production, because the Chemable for Lautaro was kind of just a weak tile improvement. Now that it has that +1 production, it's competitive with mines early game, especially now that it has the culture. So I think this is a big deal for a civ that wants to be going to war, to have strong culture and production. It doesn't stack. The inspector, it literally says that it stacks. I don't know, like, we just read, mines now receive +1 science for each adjacent Seiwan. It used to not stack. For each. So now, do I have to load up a game and show you? They changed it. It stacks now. It used to not stack. +10 combat strength and fighting civs. Overall, I still think this is kind of an civ. It doesn't stack? What doesn't stack? Cities with established governor. +10 combat strength. When fighting free city civilization, the Golden Age or Heroic Age. That's pretty nice. They're going to be good at taking out people in Golden Ages, which is what they've always been good at. Cities with established governors get 5% culture, 5% production, and 10% experience in combat. Or for combat units trained in this city. He's talking about the Mapuche's tile improvement. It doesn't... What do you mean it doesn't stack? What would it possibly stack with? Can you explain that to me? What doesn't stack? I'm getting triggered by chat now. It means the +4 wouldn't stack for multiple cities with governors. What +4? What? What are you talking about? Oh, the loyalty? Oh, the loyal... Oh my god! Don't just say it doesn't stack. Say the loyalty doesn't stack. It's literally 2 extra words. Don't just say it. I have no idea what you're referencing, and I can only assume that you're referencing the last thing I talked about. Oh my god! Alright, I'm ignoring chat. So the loyalty bonus, as far as we can tell, won't stack. +5 combat strength within 4 hexes of friendly territory. I would say Lautaro is now pretty moderately to strongly buffed. I don't know. I think Mapuche is still kind of in an awkward place. I think they're going to be interesting and fun to play. The culture and production bonus being tripled in cities that you didn't found is pretty nice. The loyalty is a nice boost as well, especially with something like Victor. You're gonna have, I think Mapuche are gonna have a really easy time dealing with loyalty on the offense. Especially this sort of loyalty buff is actually a really big deal for the Mapuche, because in particular they tend to go to war with people in the Golden Ages, which means you're gonna have loyalty problems when you're taking their cities. I think this is the most significant change, as is the loyalty here. This is going to be like a very moderate change. If you're doing any sort of domination thing, you're probably going to have a lot of cities anyway. So having a slightly buffed single city is like, I mean, it's cool, it's neat. It'll be nice. I don't think it's going to be game breaking. I think the really game breaking thing is the loyalty, the production, and the 10 combat strength. That's it. Maya farms now receive 1 production for every adjacent observatory. Right, this is absurd. This is crazy, to the point where I'd like to load up Maya and play them a little bit just to show it. But non-capital cities within 6 hexes now receive a free builder when the city is founded. Okay, this is straight up nuts. You're going to get 3 to 6 builders for free in an average game. Maybe more, maybe less. But I would say 3 to 6 is like where 99% of your games are going to land. That is crazy, especially because how much benefit Maya gets from farms now. Insane. Getting a free builder is huge. Now, the thing is, a lot of people will think, well, why doesn't everyone just go Ancestral Hall and get the free builder? Because you have to build a government plaza. Now, the thing is, as Maya, if you build the government plaza and get the Ancestral Hall, you get 2 free builders. It's crazy. I've already explained what the start bias tier is. Start bias change, now tier 1, tier 2 plantation luxuries. All other terrains are tier 3 to discoverage. Coast spawns. Okay, this is good. This is actually really, really good. So how a starting bias works, roughly, is the game will pick out locations that it wants to place civs, and then it will assign civs to those locations based on the bias. So, for example, Maya has a pretty big bias for plantation luxuries and stuff like that, right? And flatland. Which means, let's say there's a good example here is Egypt and France. Let's say there's a river. Let's say there's 2 rivers. One river, or the first example is, let's say there's 1 river in the game. Because France has a higher bias towards the river, if a spawn location is picked for that river, France is more likely to be placed on that river for Egypt, because France's start bias for river is higher. This is a tier 3 bias for France, which means they're more likely to be placed there. For Egypt, it's tier 5, so it's lower. However, if that river has floodplains, Egypt is more likely to be placed on it than France. That's all it works. It's just a bit of game logic. Mongolia now gives XP. The Order now gives XP to siege units. This is just an exposure of code, I think, rather than a change. Although, if it wasn't giving XP to siege units, that's kind of a bit of an oversight from the developers, because the stable does do that. How is Mercury a plantation resource? I didn't say that all of these were plantations. I said they just have a bias towards luxuries, which typically includes plantations. I didn't mean to say that all of these are plantations. It's just they have a bias towards luxuries, right? And a lot of luxuries are plantation, citrus, luxury, coffee, luxury, or plantation. Okay? Most of these are plantation luxuries. Netherlands, Radio Orange. Domestic trade routes provide +2 loyalty, whilst +1 per turn for studying luxury. Trade routes sent or receiving from a foreign civilization grant 2 culture. This is just a nice buff. This ability was really terrible. Now it's kind of okay. It's like, okay. It's not great. It's just Nubia task city now provides 30% production towards range units, was 50. I think Netherlands is like, this is a very mild buff. I don't think it's significant. This is a huge nerf for Nubia. This is a huge buff for Nubia. So if we take a look at Nubia, her name is... oh god, I've forgotten her name. Aminator? No, that's Alexander. So previously the Nubian Pyramid, I think it only gave you +2 faith and then yields based on what it was adjacent to. So now a Nubian Pyramid that's placed next to your city center will actually give you +3 food and +2 faith, which is pretty damn significant in the early game. If you place that down on a, I don't know, a flat plains tile, for example, that's 4 food, 1 production and 2 faith. That's a very workable early game tile. I would probably not put more than like 2 to 3 of these in a city in total. But still, really good. Really, really good. Especially if you can maybe get down a couple of districts beside your Nubian pyramids to get a little bit more value out of it. So this is a nice buff to the Nubian Pyramid, and honestly, I think their production towards range units did need a nerf because they were crazy. Now, the really good thing about the Nubian Pyramid is that it makes desert tiles not terrible. Like, you can actually work desert tiles and grow. Must be built on desert. Oh, shoot, you're right. I was playing with a mod that let you build them anywhere, and I just forgot that they're only on desert. Derp. But yeah, sorry. This is me just being dumb and forgetting. It can only be built on desert. Sorry. But yeah, that makes desert tiles workable, and if you put stuff near it, it's cool. Now gives XP to siege units. It's been a while since I played Nubia, so I think this is a pretty heavy nerf. Still going to be very, very strong. This is a nice buff. This was very weak, and now it's on viable terms. Also being able to be placed on floodplains is cool. Ottomans, Grand Vizier, add +1 governor title when gunpowder technology is unlocked. This is really, really nice for the Ottomans, particularly if you were playing in like secret societies. You often just didn't have enough governor titles. Because like if you think about it, a secret society gives you 1 governor title, but it eats up 4 over the course of a game. More realistically, most games are 1 before you've actually used that 4th one. So it eats up 3. So the Ottomans getting +1 because they also have the Grand Vizier. They need to like... they also have the Grand Vizier that they need to... I need to turn on my light. I can't think in the dark. Yeah. They have an extra governor. They need that extra title to be able to just unlock him without like sacrificing opportunity cost. Niter is now a tier 5 start bias. This is really nice for the Ottomans. They have some pretty important units that are heavily reliant on Niter, like the Bombard class of units and the Janissary that eats Niter too. Does the Janissary require Niter? I can't remember, but Musketmen and stuff like that. The Ottomans, they need Niter, so giving them a bias towards Niter is nice. Persia, Pyrodisa. Appeal bonus reduced to +1. No! I was literally just about to do a Persia meme game where I go for preserves. Oh, man. +1 appeal is still good, but +2 was so dank. Tier 5 is low priority, but almost no civs have a Niter priority. So that means if a Niter is in a spot, the Ottomans are going to get it. Right? Only Mali and Nubia have it. Anyway, that sucks. Persia is still pretty strong. I do think that this +1 nerf is actually huge. Poland, Lithuanian Union. Taking territory from a foreign city with a culture bomb converts it to the majority religion. This is a nice quality of life update for Poland. Poland is in a bit of an awkward spot where it can actually be hard to try to actually go to war and get a religion as Poland. So now you have the option to just spread a religion. That was given to you and focus solely on war. So this is just... I mean, like, the game is still hard if you go for your own religion, but now you just have, you know, options. Russia. Okay, Russia has been nerfed, but I think these are actually very gentle nerfs that still preserves the identity of Russia. So the first one is reduce the number of free tiles to a new city to 5 was 8. So this is a pretty mild nerf. Russia's borders were a little bit insane, so I think this was necessary. This could have been like 6. I mean, 5 is still good. The extra tiles are actually a pretty big deal because it can be pretty expensive and take a long time to try to set up a city tile-wise, but Russia just has a much easier time of that, which is great. The Labra moved the Great Rider point to the shrine, the Great Artist point to the temple, and the Great Musician point to the Tier 3 worship building. This isn't going to, I think, overall cripple Russia. It's just going to slow down their Great People economy quite significantly. Tier 5 is the strongest bias. Tier 1 is the weakest bias. Do I have them backwards? The lower the tier, the stronger the bias. Okay, so you're just wrong. Tier 1 is the highest. Okay, got it. I love it when people tell me stuff that is just blatantly wrong. I love it. And then I can literally just alt-tab and check. Don't worry, Jack. No worries, Jack. I forgive you. Yeah, so I think this doesn't completely cripple Russia. I think it just slows them down a little bit. I think it's a pretty significant nerf to their great person economy early game, but I think their late game great person economy is still going to be relatively intact. Russia did need nerfs. Russia right now is capable of doing things that no other civ in the game can do, and it's a little bit insane. Which is cool. Cynthia Kurgan, +1 faith, +3 gold, +1 faith for each adjacent pasture, becoming +2 faith with stirrups, provides tourism with faith after researching flight. This is just nice for Cynthia. Cynthia is a civ that's very one-dimensional, so giving them an option that has unique interactions with pastures, kind of like Australia, is fun and interesting and thematic for the civ. The faith is going to be cool. You can pretty reliably get +3 faith on every Kurgan now, because you should be able to find pastures in most cities. This is huge, I would say, for any sort of Scythian tourism transition, which isn't something Scythia typically does, but now it's an option which offers more interesting gameplay. You could do something like rush horsemen, quickly rush down someone, then transition into a tourism victory, which I think could be really, really fun. Let's see, Spain. +3 gold is a lot, and it'll really help sustaining their horsemen stuff. Spain, treasure fleet may form fleets and armadas with mercantilism instead of nationalism and mobilization. This is way earlier into the game, and this is way scarier on a naval map. Even having Spain come at you with a galley armada is terrifying. Okay, galleys, if I remember correctly, hang on, Civ 6 galley. The galley is 30 melee strength, and now it'll be 46 if you combine 3 of them together at mercantilism. You don't even need caravels at that point. The caravel is 50, 50 combat strength? 55, so it's like a musketman. This is insane. If you could get a couple, if you can get 3 caravels, all coastal cities are just fucking dead. This is insane. Trade routes receive +3 faith, +1 faith, +1 production. Really, really cool. Nice trade buffs for Spain. This is going to be significant. Things like harbors and commercial hubs are going to be a much bigger priority for Spain. Trade routes between multiple continents receive triple these numbers, so you get 9 gold, 6 faith, and 3 production. That is massive. Didn't they already have this ability? It literally says here, may form fleets and armadas with mercantilism instead of nationalism and mobilization. This is like armadas 12 civics earlier than mobilization, which was their previous ability. Cities not in your original continent receive 25 production towards districts and builder when founded. You can pet the dog with the scouts. This sounds like lies to me. So this is nice. I don't think there's a huge amount of scenarios in which you can take advantage of this unless you spawn literally adjacent to a continent. Spain has this ability in the base game. Click. Standard rules. Click. Philip. Treasure fleet. May form fleets and armadas with mercantilism instead of... I don't understand. I'm in the base game rules, and it's still reading. we're literally reading the pat. Okay, whatever. Okay. Inquisitors remove heresy in extra time. That's nice. Makes your defensive faith economy a little bit stronger. Inquisitors eliminate 100% of the presence of other religions. Can you please upload the live on YouTube? This is live, and it will be a VOD for you to review. Spain. I don't want to publish my IP by clicking that button. I don't even know how I would check this. We do a little trolling. All right, that's it. I'm done. Okay. This is nice for the extra faith economy of remove heresy. It makes defending your religion a little bit more cost effective faith-wise. Combat and religious units have +5 combat strength against players following other religions. This is just nice. You found a religion, you go to war with somebody, you have a little bit of an extra combat strength bonus when it comes to religious and battle things. Look at Saxy's Philip too. Sexy Gamer Philip Spain.
Hello everyone. Majority religion.
May form fleets on the matters earlier than usual mercantilism. Oh! Maybe I'm crazy. I must have just misremembered. My bad. I could have sworn that this was the original implementation. Maybe it got changed and I retconned it in my brain. My bad. All rule sets now. Buffed Gathering Storm version of the mission. +2 faith. +2 faith additionally. +1 food, +1 production on a different continent than your capital. They just changed the wording. Fair enough. +1 production if it's on a different continent to your capital. +1 science for every adjacent holy site and campus. +2 science once cultural heritage is discovered. Cultural heritage. Alright, that's a bit weirdly worded. The loyalty bonus is still in rise and fall. So let's take a look at Spain here. So it's +2 faith. You get 2 faith. You get 2 science once you've unlocked cultural heritage. 2 faith, 1 production, 1 food if it's on a different continent. So if you put it on like a plains tile, it's a 2 food, 2 production, 2 faith tile. 2 food, 2 production, 4 faith tile. And then add 2 science once you have cultural heritage, and then another +1 science for every campus and holy sites. This is actually really strong. That's what we're saying. There is a pet button for the scouts. Okay, hang on. I swear to God. If you're lying to me. Yeah, but this... Oh, the Spanish mission. The Spanish mission, massively buffed. This is now an incredibly useful tile. Remove coast start bias. I don't like that. Geothermal is now a tier 3 start bias. Okay, so this is kind of like a weird religion science civ with lots of trading. Interesting. Got to be a strong science civ now, in my opinion. Very, very strong science civ with a good supportive religion game. Shadow's being extra dumb.
Palace at
Okay. Map thing is going to break, isn't it? Oh no, it didn't break. Scout. I have cat scouts. One does not simply pet a cat. Very okay. You can pet the dog. Awesome. Very cool. Geothermal spawn on continent splits. Let's see how true that is. Reveal all.
Back to the apple.
Continent split. No geos. Am I on the base game rules? I'm on the base game rules. Fucking A, dude. Running the cat mod is now a nerf, true. Sumeria. Adventures of Enkidu add +5 combat strength to units when they're at war with a common foe. So this applies to all your alliances. This is basically makes all of Sumeria's alliances like a military alliance, which is really, really cool. What about Conquistadors? We'll talk about Conquistadors now in a sec. I was waiting to load. P for Philip. The Conquistador, +10 combat strength when there's a unit, religious unit within 1 hex. It used to be underneath. If this unit captures a city, it automatically adopts the Conquistador's player's religion as the dominant religion. So, Conquistadors, I believe, are 58 combat strength now. So these are pretty strong units. 58 combat strength puts them sort of in line with stuff. That is a nerf to Incas? What are you talking about? Oh, because you have to pet the dogs. I gotcha. Vietnam. Tan no longer provides a great general point. Whoa, what is this nerf? Oh God, I can't remember. What's the Vietnam hero's name? Or leader's name? Oh, shoot. Can I have an option to sort these by country name? I've probably passed her like 3 times now. I just don't remember what her name is. There. I don't like that it doesn't give you Grey People points. I guess it's a reasonable nerf. It is a really strong district, and I guess it makes it so that Vietnam can't just block other players from getting great generals now. I think it's an okay nerf. It's fine. Zulu, huge buff for the Zulu, by the way. +2 gold and +1 science for every single encampment building. Oh shoot, Shaka. This is a huge buff. Did they have a previous bonus? I don't think they did. I played a mod where they got like +2 gold and +1 culture. But this is a huge buff to the Zulu. Oftentimes, the hard thing with the Zulu was you kind of had to get a campus before you went for your encampment in order to actually get your unit in a reasonable amount of time. But now, now you can just go, dude. Now you could just yeet yourself towards barracks, start spamming out spearmen. Boom, you're ready to hit them with impies like that. Spawning next to Shaka is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Whether it's a player or a AI. So, scary. General, Gathering Storm. Moksha's ability, +2 faith for every specialty district in a city. This isn't going to be huge, but it is nice. I really do wish that this just said for every district, so that you could build things like aqueducts, dams, and canals to get the benefit. But every specialty district is like okay. Honestly, if it was every district, it would be fine. You get +2 faith for your city center, +2 faith for an aqueduct. It would incentivize building a lot of districts in a single city. It would be nice. And honestly, you could even go a step further. You could give them like +1 faith from specialists in the city or from pop or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like you could go a step further with this. Still, really good. It was kind of weird that there was no governor in the game that gave you faith economy. Has he talked about Gaul yet? Did I skip Gaul? I don't think Gaul got any changes, dude. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I think Gaul didn't get any changes. Gaul were already good. They didn't need changes. Yeah. Swordsman. Combat strength decreased. This is a very, very mild nerf. to Swordsman. However, it is a significant nerf when compared to the unique unit Swordsman that now have plus 3 combat strength at 38. So Swordsmen are quite a bit weaker against Swordsman unique units. You can upgrade their unit to a man-at-arms, I think. Yeah, well, that's just like a mild. The new unit is at apprenticeship. Is there a unit at apprenticeship? I don't think that's when men-at-arms unlock. I thought men-at-arms unlock a military tradition. Infantry combat strength increased. That's cool. Infantry were in kind of a weird place in that, like, if you got them early, they were really strong, but if you got them late, they like just melted. And I think this is going to kind of push that a little to more extremes. Combat strength increased for Gaul and Beba. That's again Swordsman unique unit. That's a stronger. High pacifist, stronger unique unit. Immortal. Oh, that's actually a significant buff to the dude. The Immortal felt. If you're being attacked by someone with Immortals, they feel like they're fucking invincible. But if you're using the Immortal, it feels like you're throwing paper airplanes at someone. They just get swatted out of the sky. Oh yeah, man-at-arms. I thought they were at military tactics. Weird. Because the Norwegian unique unit was still at military tactics. Okay, that's actually... Okay, that's pretty crazy. Hank, the Gauls literally unlock mining. Wait, how does the Gaul get free apprenticeship again? I forget how they do it. There's a thing. It's available earlier, so you just have to build an oppidum, and then you've got man-at-arms. Yeah, building an oppidum. There's so much information in the game that I need to like double check things so I don't say something that's wrong. That is insane. You could actually man-at-arms rush someone. Oh my god. That sounds so broken. You will need neither. Man-at-arms use iron.
From the first stirrings
of
life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far.
There is a downside.
Now begins your greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization on to...
I think there is a downside here. In that, well, you need iron working, right? So you need to get the iron working. And if you're in a defensive game, you might like want a swordsman. But like the swordsman is 90 production, the man-at-arms is 160 for a 10 combat strength increase. It's a lot of extra production to get a defensive unit out. But if you get this unit out, oh my god. If you had 2 of these... You don't have the production this early? I mean, you unlock this by building this. And then this gives you +1 production on your mines. Like, let's just set up a reasonable scenario here. Let's say I go animal husbandry, mining, bronze working, iron working, right? Let's do, hypothetically, say I do animal husbandry, mining, bronze working, iron working, and apprenticeship. Okay? So I've just given myself all those technologies.
If there are no
And let's say I settled here. Let's say I'll give myself like 1,000 gold. Let's say my city, by the time I get all this done, it would probably take me, I don't know, like 40, 50 turns. So my city's probably grown like this. Probably look something like that. All I have to do is buy this tile. What is the name of their oppidum? It's this. Build an oppidum. Place a queue for quarry. I'd say I'd probably have something in the region of, I think, 5 population would be reasonable to expect on a capital around this time. Let's just, for the sake of things, because I don't know how to chop things with this. Place builder. Okay, thank you. Then we'll place some mines. Let's just do a little bit of hypothetical things. Let's say we have 4 mines out, a quarry, and this. Yes, I know my graphics are weird. But like, we got 21 production per turn. We can build men-at-arms in 7 turns, dude. And this isn't even like an OP city. This is like pretty standard for Gaul. This is like 4 mines, a quarry, and an oppidum. And this city's ready to 7-turn man-at-arms. Those mines didn't work. Their mines have culture. They do have culture. It just takes a second for the UI to update. They didn't culture bomb because I didn't build them with a builder. I'm sorry, but this is insane. You can get to this position in game probably around turn 40 to 50. Buy workshop. I mean, I don't think that's going to like have a huge impact. It's 3 production, but sure. I don't think that's a reasonable thing to expect in a game. Not enough gold in treasury, excuse me. So we get 6 turn. Call it 6 to 10 turn man-at-arms, okay? You did two chops. Oh, that's right. You're right. Hang on. Let me clear my Let me clear my buffer. It's still 7 turns, dude. What? Why is it 7 turns?
It is not wisdom.
You can 7-turn man-at-arms. This civ is insane. I'm doing a video on Gaul soon, I swear. Holy shit. That's crazy. 7-turn man-at-arms at turn 40 or 50 is possible with this civ, I feel like. Now, you'd have to kind of high roll a good start, get a couple cities out early, maybe get a campus or something, but it's possible. Where do you get the policy to get plus 50% production? That would be all the way of feudalism, classical, medieval, and Renaissance. Because I think this one only applies to classical and ancient. And the man-at-arms is a medieval, so you would need to get all the way to feudalism. How much does it cost to upgrade the Gazetei? Let me check here. 210 gold, that's doable if you're exploiting the AI. That's doable. So the Gazetei skips Swordsman now and goes to Man-at-Arms. How about if you got a barracks there? You could probably, as Gaul, reliably upgrade 1 Gazetei and reliably build 1 man-at-arms. To have 2 man-at-arms and 2 man-at-arms this early into the game would be unstoppable. Unstoppable. Gazetay upgrades into muskets, not with the new patch. Now they upgrade to man-at-arms. This civ is broken. My god. High pass base, combat strength increased, immortal, combat strength. Yep, these are all just standard sort of buffs. Oh my god, berserker buffs. Oh my sweet, they did it. They made berserker viable. They actually did it. They actually fixed berserkers. Berserkers were so trash for so long. -5 combat strength when defending against melee attacks. So now they're still tanky against ranged attacks. This unit's crazy. It defends like a 43 combat strength unit, but it attacks like a 60 combat strength unit. Finally. 4 movement. +4 movement if it starts in enemy territory. The double pillage possible. Add a great general, +7 combat strength, +7 movement. You could pillage a tile, move to another tile, and pillage that tile with a berserker in 1 turn. Alright, nice. Kevsir, combat strength increased. Really good. It's better now, especially because of the previous unit changes. Conquistador. Conquistador is massively buffed. Don't people upset about the slurpy noises. Conquistador is massively buffed here. Massively buffed. If I remember correctly, I think it was +5 when there was a religious unit. Now it's +10. Please don't make those lip noises. Crazy. I think this was +5, wasn't it? I think it was. Hang on. Conquistador. Civ 6. Has this been updated yet? I think it's already been updated. It was always +10? I could have sworn it was +5. Maybe I'm misremembering. Immortal buff, I'm a big fan of. Immortals were just kind of weak, it felt like. Babylon 3 mines into man-at-arms. The problem with the Babylon 3 mines into man-at-arms thing is that man-at-arms require iron. And so you'll have to get bronze working and a source of iron in order to even begin building these. And Babylon doesn't quite have as much production as Gaul, although they can. But they can. Red coat. Oh, yeah. Sexy gamer. Spain. Let's have a look.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, yeah, it was +10. Okay. Never mind. I'm wrong. So this is still plus. They're still strong. And they're stronger than they were. So not quite as big as a buff as I thought it was, but still really, really strong. Red coat. Ooh, that's a significant boost. Digger, pretty significant boost there. Samurai unlocked with feudal. Oh my god. They did it. They moved the samurai to the culture tree. You now unlock samurai here. Rather than here. Very nice. Crazy. I like that. I like that change. Japanese culture memes are going to be quite good now to go for samurai. It technically is a nerf in some situations, but it's technically a buff in others. I think it just makes the civ more interesting to play. Machine gun, combat strength increased. This was needed. This unit was kind of dog shit, to be honest. It's the last ranged unit in the game, and its performance is pretty terrible. It's available over here, somewhere here. Yeah, like, it was 75, I think, previously. Yeah, 75. 75 combat strength against, like, modern armor. Okay? That is a 20 combat strength difference. And modern armor gets defense bonuses against range. Japan builds theater squares twice as quick. That sounds like it's a really cool meme. The problem is that theater squares are unlocked here. And by this point, 99% of games, the only things you need to get feudalism are these three. So, games of rec, defensive tactics, and feudalism. So by the time you go for drama and poetry, because nobody goes for drama and poetry before political philosophy, this is just like a low IQ move, like unironically. You want to do the big brain move, always get your government first. So by the time you actually build the theater square, you probably already have defensive tactics, so you're probably only shaving off 2 turns of feudalism. The big brain move is to just get your monuments early as Japan. Siege catapults are buffed, so they're a little bit stronger, which I like. Not much, but this helps, I guess. Domri buffed significantly. Amazing. This unit is now so much better. Holy shit. And this is one of my favorite ways to play the Khmer is you basically like rush, settle, get religion, get Domri, kill neighbor, tourism. This is like my favorite way to play Khmer. You rush out your settlers, you get a religion, you get Domri, and then you kill your neighbor, and then you go for tourism. And now the Domri is like insane. This is a way stronger unit. 7 extra combat strength on the defense, 5 extra on the offense. Bombard, military. This unit was already pretty strong. This is a very mild buff. Rocket artillery. Oh my god, 100 combat strength. This is very weak on the defense, but now it's very, very strong. And don't forget, rocket artillery. All right, rocket artillery are like 5 range units. Okay, 3 base range. Where is drone? +1 range and +5 bombard strength from drones. And by the time you have rocket artillery, they should have their final promotions. This is like a 5 range unit doing 123 damage if you have it like fully buffed up, even more. In fact, it should have like more like 140 combat strength if you have a great general, if you have all the promotions, if you have a drone. Oh, this unit, rocket artillery in the late game, man, it's going to be hard to touch. Pikemen, combat strength increased, good. Pikemen needed it. Impy, combat strength increased, good. I mean, bad. Impy didn't need this. It is good that they're going to be like slightly better now because playing Shaka is fun. Combat strength increase for AT crew, very good. Modern AT combat strength increased. I always thought it was weird, right? That the difference between these units is so small. Because like AT crew is here, right? There's AT crew. Modern AT crew is here. Now, typically in Civ, right? Let's take Swordsman as the example. 35 combat strength. That's a classical era unit. Usually, every era, a unit's combat strength goes up by 10. So if we look at the gunpowder unit, it's 55. So that's 2 eras later, the unit's 20 combat strength better. But if we look at modern AT, this comes modern era, okay? 75 combat strength. An AT unit coming in the atomic should be 85 combat strength, and an AT unit coming in the information era should be 95, but this is 85. So that just seems, I don't know, this just feels weak. This could be 90, to be honest. This could be and should be 90. Cost as much, and normal AT crew cost as much so you can mass produce them. Yeah, I mean, you can mass. Whoa, Hoplite. Hoplite's buffed again. Oh my god. This unit is actually legitimately crazy now. By the way, with all those other changes, if you're playing Gorgo, it's insane. Corsair. Combat strength increased to 46. Very slight buff to Corsair. One of my favorite units in the game. Happy to see it get buffed. Black Army buffed, cool. Oromo Cavalry buffed, I hate this unit. The game mechanic used it defensively in a game I played against him and it almost ruined my game. It did actually ruin my game, now that I think about it. Helicopter, combat strength increased. Mountie, combat strength increased. Irrelevant. The important part here is that they get 2 national park charges. And they made them cheaper by like a third? Oh my god! How many buffs can you cram into one unit and make it ridiculous? Not only is this unit really strong on defense, I'm really good at defending you, it now gives you like 1,000 faith in national parks or more, and it's cheaper. What are they doing? This is so imba. This is like incredibly imba. This is insanely imba. This unit is ridiculous. I'm just saying, this unit's ridiculous. It already was OP if you had a lot of land. Now it's like super mega OP. Malon Raider, cheaper to produce. That's good. Upgrades to Cavalry. Okay, this is a nice buff for the Malon Raider. It's cheaper. It has a better upgrade tree. And generally buffs to Lautaro are nice. Alongside the other buffs that they got, like the extra production and stuff. Heavy Cavalry. Rough Rider replaces the Cuirassier. Upgrades to tank. Was modern armor. Prerequisite is now ballistics. Was rifling. So, I think this unit used to come here, and now it comes here. So it comes, technically, this isn't 1 tech sooner. This is like, okay, in order to get, let's say our baseline is, let's say we have all these techs, okay? Let's say we have the whole medieval era research, okay? So in order to get to gunpowder, 20, 21, 23. So that's 3 techs to ballistics, and then another 3 techs to military science, and then 1 more tech to get the Rough Rider. Now, the Rough Rider comes here. So that's like a difference of like 4 techs you have to research to get the Rough Rider. Huge. This is a big buff for the Rough Rider. Big buff for the Rough Rider. Knight, combat strength. These are just like little tweaks. Cool. Yeah. Ooh, the Monte Cavalry actually is pretty significantly buffed. And this isn't a weak unit. This is not a weak unit. How strong is the Cuirassier now? It is 64 combat strength. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like 62, so it's slightly better, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was what it was always. Maybe it hasn't changed at all. Tagma. A slight buff. Tank. Significant buff for tanks. Significant buff for modern armor. Winged Hussar. Significant buff for Winged Hussar in terms of combat strength. Unlocked with Mercantilism. Oh, significant nerf. It used to come at this tech here. Mercenaries. Okay, to put this in perspective, let's lay out again like I did with the other one. This is what a standard build order will look like in a game. You'll probably go to here. Maybe in a religion game you'll pick up theology and head to divine right. But this is like a pretty standard what you can expect from a player. Something approximating this where your first 9 civics are almost always going to be these. And you could get to, right? We're at 9. You could get to Winged Hussars and 3 techs. Now you have to go all the way to Mercantilism, okay? So that's 9, that's 6 extra civics you have to go to. And don't forget, these are really high value side civics. You don't want to rush Mercantilism. You want to take your time. You can rush Mercenaries because it's on the way to exploration. Or you can go for Divine Right or Reformed Church. Nobody's rushing this. This is a huge nerf for Winged Hussars. This is actually massive nerf for Winged Hussars. And especially as Poland, like someone said there, you almost always want to go Divine Right as Poland because you want the Chivalry card to be able to pump out your Winged Hussars. But now this is just, you need like an extra 9 techs to be able, or 6 techs. And they're expensive too. With things off to the side that you're going to pick up. So I don't know if this combat strength, I don't think really offsets that. Unless you have like a really strong culture game as Poland, I don't see you ever using Winged Hussars again. Var upgrades to Cuirassier was tank. Okay, cool. Range Cavalry, Keshig. Significant buffs to the Keshig. Cool, fun unit. A little bit anemic. Now it's basically a mounted crossbowman. It was basically a mounted crossbowman, but now it's a better mounted crossbowman, right? It's got the it's got like a 5 combat strength increase over the crossbowman, which is cool. Very nice. And they made it cheaper. Nice. Sack a horse archer. This unit was so hard to use. It had the same problem that catapults have. It comes early and it's great, but it's just so weak. Upgrades to crossbowman is a big deal, because you can get some sack of horse archers, run around, get some experience on them, and then transition them into defensive roles as crossbowmen pretty easily. I don't know if this unit is viable. It is more viable. Crouching Tiger, cheaper. Nice, good buffs. Destroyer has been increased in combat strength. Missile Cruiser has been buffed by 5 combat strength across the board. Sea Dog has been buffed. U-Boat no longer requires oil. Oh my god, this is massive. Okay, let me lay out a thing for you. So there's this really weird thing in this game. Submarines take oil. Nuclear submarines don't. What's with that? What's with this? So if you go, right? If you go for like early privateers, say, right? And you're like, oh, I want to get submarines. You have to pay oil. Nobody's got oil. Nobody who has submarines unlocked has oil, right? This is where you unlock submarines. Oil's down here. That's like another 16 techs. If you're in a naval game and you're rushing shit down this end of the tech tree, nobody's got time to go to oil. Now, Germany has a very unique position on a naval map in that they are the only player who can get privateer upgrades without a strategic resource. That is a significant buff to the U-boat, especially because it gets plus 10 combat strength when fighting on ocean tiles. This thing is going to be terrifying on any sort of map that has Germany and they're doing anything resembling a naval/air rush strategy. Because don't forget, flight is right by submarines. So you could go naval air, and unlike other civs who have to get coal and unlock refining to get a really strong ranged combat unit in this era, Germany can just go straight for submarines and destroy you. And then follow it up with planes. So this is super, super powerful. Great buff to the U-boat. I think it's going to have some very niche uses, and it makes Germany the strongest naval raider civ in the late game, or in the sort of mid-late game, which then, of course, falls off once everyone gets naval nuclear subs. Warrior Monk. Combat increased to 40, was 35. Nice. Warrior Monk, very anemic, very hard to use. Combat strength buff. Nice. General gameplay fixes. Allied civs and all were shown as espionage destinations. Love this. How many times have I accidentally clicked on my ally cities only to be disappointed that I can't actually spy on them? Buildings with overrides, Ethiopia Pact, the Alchemical Society, will now correctly receive yields intended for the base building. Okay, this is a nice fix. Idle governors now must be addressed before advancing to the next turn. No! I love ignoring my governors. God damn it. Fix an issue where the Marianu Chariot Archer was not being counted as ranged cavalry. Okay, that's a nice fix. Fix an issue where the Science Foundation policy card would go obsolete when there was no great scientists remaining. Isn't that what you want? Unless you're trying to get faith. Oh, okay. So actually, in the super late game, this card actually becomes a viable way to generate faith. Because if we take a look at Science Foundation, this card over here somewhere, yeah. This gives you basically 6 great scientist points in every city, which, when there's no great people left to recruit, is worth 6 faith per turn. Lahore fucked over warrior monks? Yeah, I suppose. You need oil for planes? No. When you're doing a naval rush game, you skip oil. You go straight for the aluminum planes because you get radio on the way. So when you're going for a naval rush game, you just get the aerodrome, pray for aluminum, and go straight for bombers when you're doing the naval air game. And you literally, like, if you're going for a naval air game, at the start of the game, do this, right? Riding, celestial navigation, education, machinery, advanced flight. That's what you do. You ignore everything else. Like, this is the tech path. Riding, celestial navigation, machinery for defensive crossbowmen. You can even skip this if you want. Education, mass production, industrialization, advanced flight. And now Germany has the option to pick up U-boats for 1 tech extra. So yeah, this is nice. It just means you'll be able to get the extra faith from this, which is cool. Fix an issue where Mahavaras will not receive adjacency bonus when built adjacent to observatories or lavras. Okay, cool. Bonuses granting percentage yields from completed items based on cloth. Were sometimes larger than intended. Okay, I was wondering. Sometimes I felt like I got way too much from this. Assigned to a city or by closing the screen. Oh, hallelujah. I can still ignore them. Fixes for the Basilicoid, not giving experience to correctly to trained units. Nice. Fixes. Keshik will not receive the +3 combat strength from Genghis Khan's Mongol Horde. Nice. Fixed an issue where Imhotep's unique ability did not scale with game speed. Imhotep? Who is Imhotep? Excuse me? Who is Imhotep? Oh, the great engineer. I was like, is there like a leader I wasn't told about? He's the great engineer. That's right. This guy. Yeah. Fixed an issue with the yield reports, which show amenity yields for cities that are content. Okay. Fixed an issue where bonus resources will not be removed for tile after a district is built on it. Oh, this one was plaguing me. How many times did I build a district on cattle and still have the cattle icon? Ugh. Fixed an issue where the invention policy would grant 2 plus instead of the intended 4 great engineer points. Tourism updates. Cultural domination term clarified in the culture victory screen. Cultural domination provides the ongoing effect. Ah! They did it. They gave us benefits to tourism. They finally did it. We're playing Civ 5 again, guys. Not quite, but we're closer. International trade routes to foreign cities. Culturally dominate. Give you +4 gold. Amazing. Get benefits for being culturally dominant over another civ, other than winning the game. Really cool. I like this. Spy missions in foreign cities you culturally dominate are 50% faster to complete. You could spy on your people you've overtaken with tourism faster. Awesome. Especially if you combine this. Oh my... Wait. This has to be balanced, right? Because it's theoretically possible now... what's that? What is that Golden Age dedication that gives you faster spies? Because if you combine that plus the Machiavellianism card, 25%, then that one gives you 25%. And then you get 50%. Does this mean that you literally insta-complete missions with those? Can you one-turn your spy missions? Bodyguard of Lies? Yeah, that's the one. If you've Bodyguard of Lies, this, and... if you've Bodyguard of Lies, this, plus Machiavellianism, can you literally one-turn? Or zero-turn? Can you zero-turn missions? Like, that's crazy. Your citizens exert 25% more loyalty pressure in foreign cities you culturally dominate. Interesting. Exciting. Culture victory. Yeah, let's have a look. To achieve a culture victory, you must become culturally dominant over all other civilizations. Cultural dominance occurs when you are attracting more visiting tourists to your civilization than the other civilization has domestic tourists at home. Your domestic tourist represents the tourists from your civilization that are currently happy vacationing within your borders. Your visiting tourist represents the number of citizens you've attracted from the domestic tourist pools of other civilizations. I don't think this stuff was here before, was it? Oh, the geothermals on continent split claim? Well, that's a good call. 2 seconds. Reveal all.
Pull back upon itself.
So... Geothermal fissure. Yeah, it does actually look like the geotherms do spawn on the edge of continents. Interesting claim. I did not know that, so whoever said that, fair play to you. I'm curious. Do they require a continent split, or can they appear? It looks like they actually require a continent split, which is okay, but I wish there was a little bit of variety. Like, this continent just got no geotherms at all. It must stack additively, otherwise it's broken. It must stack. Yeah. Well, I know with Bodyguard of Lies and Machiavellianism, you can get it down to half speed. So another 50%, I don't know how that's going to work. Red Death fixed an issue with the incorrect unit icon. Ethiopia Pack. Vampires no longer receive the benefit of ignoring walls during a city attack when adjacent to siege towers. Oh no! Vampires were so cool! 100% faster means double speed, halves time. No. Maybe, actually, you might be right. You might actually be right there. Because the wording on Machiavellianism is spy operations take 25% less time. So I think we have like a few scenarios here that are possible. So let's say we have like graph. We have... We'll call this nil or whatever. Then we have Mac. We have BOL, Bodyguard of Lies, and Cultural Dominance. So the baseline is 8. With this, it's 6. With this, it's 6. And with this, it's 4. If we add a thing here, Mac, right? So that's null because you can't stack those. This becomes 4, and I think how the math works out here is this becomes 3. So here, wait. Let me write this out in more easy to understand way. Where's my text button? So here's the scenarios. 8 base. Okay. Then there's minus 25%. Okay. From Machiavellianism or Body of Lies, which gives us 6. And then there's minus 50%, which is Machiavellianism and Body of Lies, which means you can do them in 4 turns. And then there's 50% faster, okay, which lets you do them in 4 turns. If you have this plus this, okay, I think it lets you do them in 3 turns, and it's the same with this and this. If you have all 4, however, you'll be able to do missions in 2 turns. And then that's without even thinking about linguist. Because linguist is another 25%. So if we have minus, so let's say we have 8. 8 minus 75%, okay? That brings us down to 2. And then if we do that 50% faster, I think that means if you have Machiavellianism and Body of Lies and Linguist and you're culturally dominant... Sorry, I did this wrong. This should be a 1. I think you can do it in 1 turn. You can do your spy missions in 1 turn, which is crazy. I'm having trouble with the math, guys, right? Relax. Fix an issue with the incorrect unit icon, alien faction unit. Okay, cool. Red Dead fixes. Secrets. Fix an issue where notice will fail to appear for the second secret society discovered in 1 turn. This has happened to me and it kind of annoyed me. Clipping issues by incorrect overrides with Secret Society unique buildings. Okay. Fixed an issue where the client will only have 2 active relic slots after taking over an AI player. Weird. I haven't played the Pirates much, so I don't really know what that is. Babylon, Heroes and Legends. Ooh. Hero combat strengths have been adjusted to match the new base unit unit strengths. Sinbad's fortune. No. Sinbad has been nerfed. He's still really strong, but he's been nerfed, so that's good. Khmer's unique building has been updated, recalling heroes in the city cost 15% less faith. Oh my god, we're doing a Heroes and Legends Khmer game. It's happening. Himiko provides +5 combat strength. This is good. This hero was insane. It was basically an auto win if you got Himiko and decided to go to war with anyone. Same with Arthur. Arthur is still that way. If you get Arthur as your first hero, you just auto win any war you decide to go to because you can just spam scouts and then Arthur them. Showed the unlocked unit on the project pages and devotion projects in Heroes and Legends. Devotion projects, okay. I'll have to have a look at that. Maybe we'll load up a Heroes and Legends game to see what that can do. 50% faster, we'll be doing it at 1.5x multiplier. Yeah, but it depends on what order they're applied in. Himiko is pretty nerfed, but she's still good. 50% faster reduces it by 1/3. Oh, you're right, actually. No, you're right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. I think the minimum you can still get to is 2 turns then. And it's actually not that useful of an ability. Unless it always just shaves off a turn or 2. Well, there's a couple of scenarios in which it's good. But I don't think you get a huge amount of value from it. Any mission that takes more than 3 turns, you're at least saving 1 turn, which is nice, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I mixed up my numbers there. Shoot. What was I going to do again? Heroes and Legends. I wanted to check that. Fixed issue where 2 extra... Fixed an issue where heroes remain on the map after their lifespan expired. That sounds pretty OP. Fixed an issue where questing knights will not have the correct melee strength during the atomic era. Interesting to know about that. Industry improvements can be built on luxury resources that are on volcanic soil. That sucks. Added failure tax when product can be purchased because necessary corporation has been pillaged. Boo. Fixed an exploit allowing Kublai Khan bonuses to grant multiple boosts from the same city. Interesting. Spawn rate for cavalry barbs. New notification when barb converts. Missing Civilopedia entries. Treat with tribe. Now includes a clan type name. Barbarians clans are now searchable. Cool. Fixed an issue preventing new barbarian camps from spawning. Oh, goodness. I thought this was a feature. But what happened was, at a certain point in a barbarian clans game, a city-state would spawn from a barb camp, and then barb camps would just stop spawning. So now they're going to be an issue for the whole game. Fixed an issue with dispersing camp will grant gold instead of XP. Gold could be gained by dispersing a barb outpost by border expansion. Fixed an issue where barbarian camps will be left undefended. Fixed an issue where coastal raid would not disperse a barbarian encampment. No! The spiff exploit has been ruined. Fixed an issue where city-states converted from barbarians' clans would briefly display a negative garrison defense strength. Yes, I like this. This is fixed. This was annoying. This was a visual glitch. Fixed an issue where barbarian bribe indicators would not appear consistently over affected units. Fixed an issue where hiring units would not pick the best unit available. Okay, cool. Culture border. I love that this mode. This is one of my favorite modes, and I love that it's getting so much fixed. Coastal raiding would not pillage tile. Cool. So some of the clans dispersed from unrevealed clan. Portugal Pact. The chance for a zombie to spawn after a city attack is affected by the population of the city. The higher the population, the higher the chance of a zombie will be spawned. Spies will now be killed by failed zombie outbreak spy operations at city-states. Oof. Fixed an issue with the VFX for modernized zombie trap wouldn't loop properly. Fixed an ability for naval units to heal. Cities will not build ships in future if they're on a lake. increased desire for districts and improvements, fixed the crash from happening, UI, Settlerlands, Settler, fixing the minute boost game from Eureka, console fixes, these are just look like bug fixes. Hey, we appreciate your continued support across our social media channels, the Civilization subreddit, Steam forums, and elsewhere. Join the conversation by using the hashtag #OneMoreTurn, and be sure to follow the Civilization franchise on social media to keep up the latest news and information on Civilization 6. So I think that's really the meat of this update, and I reckon the civs, the big winners here for this update, in my opinion, are Gaul, Khmer, Inca, Greece, Maya. These guys were already strong. Spain, and those are them. Those are like the civs that got super buffed. The other ones were just kind of like, there's a little boost. I mean, Zulu are pretty good now, but those guys are going to be crazy now. I'm really glad to see a lot of the weaker civs get buffs, and I'm really glad to see some civs get reworks and stuff. Please go over console. I guess there is a lot of people in my audience who are console boys. Fixed a crash that could occur when loading into a new game. Fixed truncated stat titles on Polish and Spanish languages. Fixed issue random occurrence. Show yield icons no longer function. Fixed issue where multiple options are misaligned after creating a multiplayer game with the scenario rule set in multiplayer. Hero descriptions. It looks like it's just a lot of like bug fixes, which is cool. So what I'm going to do now is have a big stretch. This isn't like a Purge Gamer legendary patch read. This is just like a chilled out patch read. Yeah, we're gonna. I wish I could play the game right now for you guys, but I have to record a thing. Does the Switch get the new Frontier Pass? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to ask me questions. Starting now, okay? No, I'll tell you what, timer. You have 10 minutes. That's an hour. 10 minutes to ask me questions before I log off and go do some recording. Will they ever fix multiplayer? Is that not a priority? I think multiplayer fixes are a priority. It's just a hard thing to track down because nobody sends them bug reports. Good job pronouncing Kamai, by the way, and thank you for streaming. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I heard the cracks. Does it stack? Does what stack? Stream in Irish when? Neil Isagum Gaelga. Yeah, the Switch has the pass. Favorite color? Probably blue. I don't know. I like blue. I like blue and black. What save you thinking for the next playthrough? Haven't decided yet. Like bomb. Everybody in the video, press like on the video right now. Why only 10 minutes? Because it seems like a reasonable amount of time that I can get a lot of questions answered. The Switch does get the NFP. What's your overall opinion on Mali? I think Mali are a relatively strong civilization and they're very fun to play. I think they have some weaknesses that are pretty reasonable and easy to play around. Can you do some updated tier lists? Now that this final update is out, I'm going to spend probably a month playing the game, getting used to every single civ in the game, and then I'm going to do a big, massive, in-your-face tier list month or two where I just do like a tier list for everything. Will you load up the TLC huge map and click the thing for the fog to go away to check for Atlantis? We already did that. What was the one thing you thought was missing out? The one thing that I thought was missing out of the patch. You know what? I don't think there is something missing. They've addressed a lot of the concerns that the community have had for a long, long time with this patch. I kind of wish... I kind of wish we had some more production adjustments. That's just me. Do you know you can pet the dog with the scout in the update? Yes. Why? Potato does a D&D stream. We'll probably start doing D&D next month. I'm probably going to stream that exclusively on Twitch and keep this mostly a save channel. Why don't you stream on Twitch? I don't stream on Twitch because Twitch is a bad platform for the most part. Let's just be real. The Twitch staff have incredible favoritism. A completely non-transparent ban structure. You can be randomly banned on a whim by some moderator because you misclicked the link. It's just crazy. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't feel safe as a creator having my business on Twitch. To what extent, and I feel much safer on YouTube. YouTube's never done anything wrong to me, and I think the vast majority of YouTube's issues are typically overblown. That'd be my hot take. Do you think there will be another update? Yes. What civ do you most look forward to playing? Kamai, of course. What actually helped the Gaul, other than the Gazette's upgrading into the Man-at-Arms? The Gazette's upgrading into the Man-at-Arms and getting Man-at-Arms basically on turn 40 is incredible. Would you do a collaboration with Spiff where you play members of both your chats? I would like to do that, but I don't think that's something that either of us are super interested in doing. Like, I think it's kind of a neat idea, but it sounds like an awful lot of work for very little reward for me. And it sounds like... The thing is, like, I'm human, and... I have a limited amount of brain power and time, and so I have to make a decision about, like, I could do this thing and it would probably be fun, but, like, is that the best use of my time? What can we do to help you pronounce city names the right way? Honestly, just comment a lot at me and meme at me, because it does actually help. To what extent do your tips change for an online speed? I think, no idea how you'd improve tiles so quickly on in. Also struggle with granary and monuments. Honestly, on online speed, things don't change much, except you need to be like, snowballing is way more important than online speed. When are you going to let more percent of the cousins so you can play WoW again? Probably never, Atomic. I think a lot of us just kind of got disenfranchised with WoW, unfortunately. I kind of wish I was able to keep it going, but I lost all motivation for it for now. I'd like to get back into WoW again. It's one of those games that I just want to keep playing. Did you like Saxy Gamer's video on Spain? I didn't watch it. Not the whole thing. At least I think I watched it like 2 years ago or something. Are you going to play Humankind? I am going to play Humankind. I'm going to record a video on it tonight. Hopefully get it out for you over the weekend. The Virgin Khmer versus the Chad Khmer. Have you found the new launcher annoying as well? Moderately annoying. I'd like to be able to close it while I have the game open. What civ is your least favorite and why is it Georgia? I like Georgia. Thanks for answering. Really appreciate it. Do you have any direct contact with RT Gabe? No, I've never even added him on Twitter. I've no idea who he is. I've watched like maybe 3-5 of his videos, somewhere in that region. Like, I've watched a couple of them. He's pretty funny. I think I used to watch his TF2 videos like way back in the day when I was a TF2 frog. Will you do a playthrough of TSL Huge Earth Map? Did you mention the make more trade equitable bug? I don't know. Do you think Egypt is now a good civ? I think Egypt has always been an okay civ. DX11 or DX12? I'd say DX12 unless you have really old hardware. Shibalanke is pronounced Shibalanke. Cool. Do you think this really is the last update for civ? No, I'm just memeing when I say that to get clickbait viewers. Would you play a ranked multiplayer free-for-all with under civ? Multiplayer is something I would like to get into, but that's probably like long-term goals of getting, like, when I run out of content ideas, I'll jump onto the multiplayer scene and have a bit of fun there until we wait for Civ 7. Which class was your main in TF2? I used to play Demo Man. And I would just play with the vanilla grenade launcher. You can start the game without the launcher. I mean, I wish that was just functionality built into it and I didn't have to do anything special. What if you were asked to say a German tongue twister? Fischers, Fritz, Fisch, Frisch, Fisch. I have no idea to say that. Fischer? Korea is the worst, best appearing science fiction civ. I don't know. Doesn't DX12 cause the hair bug? Never seen the hair bug. Do you think Bull Moose needs a nerf? No, I don't think there are many civs that need a nerf. I don't think nerfing civs is the way to really balance a game, unless they're like extreme outliers. I think the game is more interesting when everyone is pretty powerful. Hoplites are pronounced oplites. Okay. What is the timer for guys? I don't know. I don't know who to play next. I'm cute. Yeah, you are. 2 hours ago? Yep. Would you be interested in an Age of Mythology style civilization game? Yep, absolutely. I would love some more fantasy civ style games, especially ones based in like mythology. Are you having a good day? I'm having a pretty good day. Demo Man gang rise up. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, it's obnoxious. They forced it upon people for sure. Thoughts on Solaris and its new expansion? I think the new expansion is really, really cool. I'm only on stage 2 of becoming the Nemesis. I'm kind of exploring it still, or becoming the Crisis rather. I think it's really cool. I think Stellaris is a really, really cool game. I think they've drastically improved the game. I do wish they would come up with a better solution for the pop problem rather than just have less pops. I feel like there's a more elegant solution in that game somewhere than just like reducing the total number of pops in the game. Do you have any tips to start a good deity game? Settle on a Plains Hill. Have some luxuries and hills near you with shoppable things. Would you like to make a trade agreement with England? Probably. When is the VTuber avatar thing coming? I've sent an email to a VTuber avatar creation guild, so hopefully that'll be on the way. Have you seen the Pymations meet the amazing animations, Meet the Scout. Yeah, I've seen them. I have done nothing but teleport bread for 3 days. Do you think the dev team does a good job overall for Civ 6? I think they do a very good job overall for Civ 6. Should Gilgamesh receive a buff? Yes, Gilgamesh should always be buffed because he is a big swole boy. Do you know of a mod that lets you swap civilizations and leaders so you could play Teddy as Egypt as a bad example? Nope, don't know a mod that could do that. Will they ever provide updates for Civ Mobile? I have no idea. I'm not a developer of the game. I would assume that they would. Buy 360p gang, okay boomer, nobody potato play a new map. What alt leaders would you like to see for civs that are already in the game? I don't really have a wish list, to be honest. I just like memes. More civs, please, is my position. Quick look at the Humankind dev release. I'm going to go ahead and record a video on it now, off stream. I like my streams to be one-dimensional. This stream is about reviewing the last patch, and then a future stream will be about playing Humankind, a future video, you know what I mean? I like things to be one thing. That way, when people click on my streams, they know exactly what they're getting into. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a stallion is Carl? He's like off the charts, dude. You can't even measure it. What are you doing? I'm chilling. Emily, thank you. Who is your Civ 6 waifu? Probably, I don't know, actually. Himiko, maybe. Just for the meme. Because of how badly I needed her for that one meme strategy I was going for. No questions. I want to say I enjoy your content. Think you do a great job. Keep it up. Love watching you play through and talk your way through the matches. Thanks so much, Jean-Luc Chenier. What is the... I like that this update came out on my birthday. Happy birthday to you, Brendan. Pinky finger reveal when? You're never getting my pinky finger. Not until I open my pinky finger OnlyFans. It'll be $9.99 a week for one pinky pick per week. Did they mention that make trade more equitable? I have already answered that question. Are you planning to foster any more animals? Well, actually, what happened is I was gonna give the rabbit to another person, but then as I was like getting ready to give the rabbit away, I was like, I'm sorry, but this is my rabbit now. And then she's mine. I stole it. The rabbit's mine. Okay, I fucking engaged in rabbit heist. Do you think Egypt needs a buff? Have a great rest of your day, PotatoMcWhiskey, and thank you for the review. Can you send offensive spies to allies in Civ 6? No. How much do you like the arsenal? But her ability is really cool. How rabbit? 40 seconds. Please play Germany when the patch releases. I'm going to be playing a lot of Civs. Hey, Potato. Should I name my puppy? You should name your puppy after like a Greek mythological figure. Something like real weird, like Archimedes. Well, actually, I don't think he was mythological. Or... what's that guy called? The Achaemenid? No. God, I forget his name. Not Archimedes. It was like in the Age of Mythology games. Give him like some weird Greek name. Like Kronos or something. Congrats on the rabbit. What's your preferred way to end stream? Usually I paint a picture. Do you think India needs a buff? I don't think many civs need a buff. I think most of the civs... I'm going to have to spend some time with the game now to figure out who needs buffs and stuff like that. Rabbits don't really belong in a cage, for your information. I mean, she only lives in the cage because it's not safe to have her out in my room all the time. Like, when I'm not at the computer, she's out of the cage running around having fun. Agamemnon, that's the guy I was thinking of. Call your dog Agamemnon. Thanks for the stream, buddy. We're going for a little bit longer here. Please say Byzantine. My dog is named Freya, Norse mythology for the win. Cerberus, maybe if it's a dog. Nah, it's too generic. You give him a weird name, like Agamemnon is cool. Did you play with all the civs? I've played a game to victory with every civ in the game, I believe. If I ask you this question, will you answer it? No. Mohammed Fatir, no. Would you do a tutorial on the Firaxis tool you're using? Yeah, it's one of the videos I have planned. Although... my worry is that if I popularize the use of the fire tuner, people are going to start cheating in the games and ruin them for themselves. So, because I know that's something that when I was a casual player of games, if I discovered that there was a way to cheat, I would be tempted to use it all the time. So maybe it's better if the world doesn't know, like the Civ world, and people have to go out of their way to learn how to cheat. I love it as a small animal. I love hearing you knowing your stuff when it comes to taking care of them. Thanks, bud. You can pet your scout. You can pet your scout dog now. Yes, it's cool. What's your favorite TSL map? I don't really like TSL maps all that much. It's not something that's ever really appealed to me. So you played Immortals England. How painful was that? Lol. I played a religion game as England on the TSL map for a meme. Please don't. What's your most hated civ? I don't know. What happened to the A to Z challenge? I got bored. I cheated so much in Civ 2. Any tips for playing Civ 6 on console without mods? I don't know what that experience is like, so just have fun. Any favorite beer? Whatever beer is in my hand is usually my favorite beer. What's the best wonder and why is it the Cliffs of Dover? Well, the best wonder is pyramids, clearly. Cliffs of Dover isn't a wonder, it's a natural wonder, you dumbass. What are the most enjoyable victory conditions? Probably tourism, in my opinion. I grabbed a cheat mod one time and it really does ruin the experience, so I installed it. Fishing boat does not get production anymore. It's a very nice view on cheating, but it's not as if no one else will show it. The difference is the existence. Everybody knows that cheating exists, but it's kind of like in an abstract fashion. Once you've been like exposed to the idea and given the option, it becomes much more tempting to actually cheat because human egos are weak. And so I think the overall enjoyment of the Civ community is better if I don't do a video on how to cheat in the game. How hard is the new Persia after changes? Or how is... Well, I don't know how hard he is. That's a different question. How is the new Persia after changes? I still think they're good. It's rude your game. Make sure it's fun at start, but it'll make the game boring. Yep. Do you view yourself better than Spiff at Civ? I think I would generally be better than Spiff at the game, but I think he can still compete with me. How many hours does he have in the game? Hang on. Search. Spoofing Brit. View profile. Oh, I shouldn't revealed his Steam account. That was a mistake. Oh shit. Fuck. Games. Oh, I can't see his games. Shit. Oh well. Delete the VOD. Have you seen the... Oh, there's a new Astartes video? Oh my god. I'm gonna go watch that right now. Okay, I love you all. Bye-bye. Where the fuck is...